I'm back at it again today. Let me help you out, YouTube. You should make some of these platforms harder. Not talking about her. She's got some good information on there. Not talking about him. He's got some good comedy on there from stories that he's finding apparently in the media. But I'm talking about all the drama. Of course, you can't find a man who want to lead in this economy. They're looking for a mammy. They're looking for a mammy. They don't want to lead. They want to eat, sleep, have sex, and have the woman pay for the roof over their damn head. Biblical locust swarm blackens the sky over Russia. Is this recently? Because I had a dream about some locusts anyway, a couple of days ago. Last week. I think it was last week. Yeah. I had a dream about some locusts. That I was eating some food, and all of a sudden I looked in the food and I saw like a worm, and I like tossed the worm out of the food, and it instantly turned into like a locust or a grasshopper. So I had dreams about locusts last week. Yeah, that's coming too, you know. And this here, I'm gonna just go ahead and just let YouTube know that, you know, see the stereotypes that they themselves promote. See the stereotypes? Now, if white people went around with their face black, their lips painted real red, and their mouths wide open, you'd want to come unglued. We keep telling y'all that a lot of black men love these stereotypes. Breeders used to be a badge of shame during slavery and immediately after slavery. They love running around the planet being called nothing but breeders. Yeah. They love the stereotypes. Things that we should be really thinking about, they're not. No. People have established their own sense of righteousness. It's getting worse and worse. And women, especially black women, stop paying a lot of these men any mind. We have been warning you, don't give men but 2 minutes of your fucking attention, especially if they're a stranger. Men want your attention. Because if you start giving them your attention, they just walk up on the street, you start giving them your attention, they start to convince you of all kinds of shit. And this is how things like that happen. Yeah. I had a man walk up to me and say, "Do you know that Jesus is Pentecostal?" You know, I told him, I said, I don't know if Jesus is Pentecostal, but one thing I know, he's black. So why don't y'all start telling the truth in your churches? He didn't have anything else to say. He didn't even get on the bus. You know, an agent, it's like, why you standing by the bus stop with a suitcase anyway? And here's the bus anyway. There's only one bus that go down that route. You either getting on that bus or you're not getting on that bus. After I told him the truth, you know, he didn't get on that bus, but apparently he was supposed to be getting on the bus. There's no hotels in that. Why was this man just running around the middle of Corpus Christi with a suitcase and think that I'm going to sit there and entertain him about whether or not Jesus is Pentecostal? Not today. Not today, Satan. Not today. And this is how they'll walk up to you and get your attention. And they'll approach a woman first, because women have been programmed to stand there and listen to men. Instead of cutting the conversation short and then leaving. And this is how they convince women to do whatever they want. All they need is for women to stand there and listen to them. And they're not taking you anywhere. Where was that supposed to take me? I'm looking for a Pentecostal church because Jesus was Pentecostal, and I only got to go, I can only go to a Pentecostal church. Now, this is a Hispanic man. I'm like, dude, I can point you to all kinds of Catholic churches around here, but I have no idea where a Pentecostal church is. Not none. Not none. I mean, you could drag your suitcase, down to the Whataburger and ask them. But you're gonna come and approach me. And why you in the middle of nowhere? There's no hotels around here, and you just with it's not like it's around a Greyhound bus station. This is a city bus route, and he just shows up with a suitcase. Hey, did you know that Jesus? Yeah, he was Pentecostal. One thing that I know, he's black. That I do know. I'm glad I cut that conversation to less than 2 minutes. Well, maybe because he just kept on and kept on about a Pentecostal church, and if I knew one, I said I didn't know one. Where Pentecostal churches around here, but at least I kept the conversation under 5 minutes, and that was probably 3 minutes too long. These men will go out of business, and they'll stop running their games. If women, and you have been warned, stop standing there and listening to men. Most men don't want to take you nowhere. They want to lounge around and take you to the cleaners. What are y'all talking about? There's no warriors. These motherfuckers ain't doing. These men are infant. They have been infantilized. Yeah. They don't like to say it, but that's what happened to them. This is the result of colonization. They ain't walking around here doing nothing. Besides looking for some woman who will do everything, submit and do everything, so they can just run around here telling people that Jesus is Pentecostal and women should submit, and just dumb shit. And lounging at home, talking about, they creating a business. Or going some damn where and talking about they creating a business, which is sex tourism and sex trafficking. Most of these men should actually be put under the jail. They should be put under the jail. For dereliction of duty, dereliction of their own households. Being warriorless. Back in them ancient societies and shit like that. If you wasn't a warrior, they damn sure let everybody know that your ass was nothing but a wimp. You was either a warrior or a goddamn wimp. And most men nowadays are nothing but fucking wimps, man. It reminds me of that Bible passage that said, and he that loveth his life shall lose it. And people probably would be, well, why would God not want us to love our life? Do we always have to lay it down? No, that goes further into context. In those days, you're going to have people just running around here, being selfish, self-entitled, self-centered, grifters, manipulators, schemers, covetous, envious, truce breakers, incontent, I think it's called incontent, never satisfied, always looking to take something from somebody else, don't want to see anybody else with anything. And it's all on the internet. It's all on the internet. And Africa is trying to get their share of this internet pie too. Come on, YouTube, and start narrowing this shit down to some type of categories. The slop and the real food. I think I'll listen to some of this Persian music. What's the point, though? What's the point? Now you're saying that you telling the Africans, well, you know, America is the oldest country. What about Atlantis? What about Lemuria? What about Mu? I mean, they already don't want to leave. Even after TPS is over, they already don't want to leave. I mean, Africa, America's the oldest country. You know, you come from America, you come from us. They like, yeah. Now, why don't you go tell Trump that? Get out there and go tell Trump. Before we come with the machetes, we want to stay here. And then once you get that done, we'll tell Trump to send your asses to Africa. And we'll help him put you on the plane. Even if we have to pull out the machetes. What's the point? What's the point? Then it becomes, which is already there, a race for everybody to say, well, you know, we all got a claim to America. And if we decide that you don't have a claim, then we'll work with the white oppressors and get your asses out of here. Even if we have to hack you out of here. What's the point? What's the point? We terraformed the whole entire planet. Just like Yahi said, we terraformed the whole entire planet. And I'm from Louisiana, born and raised. You don't see me sitting there patting my chest. Wakanda! Forever! We all know about the water towers. We all know what's going on. But we terraformed the whole planet, man. We were all over the entire planet. The chosen.